A part of us, a scholar, an alum of the University of Edinburgh. She's amazing. For GET, she studied here. She did entrepreneurship and I think it's called an innovation, something like that, which is really cool. And she's the co-founder of Chashi Foods, which she can talk to you all about if you want to hear about that. And she's been to COP26 a few times. Like she's always going to and from Glasgow. She's been to the green and the blue zone, which she can explain to you if she wants, which means she's seen both sides, like the open to the public and the really important bits with like super fancy people. So Forget's going to talk to us about her experience at COP for a little bit before we go into our breakout rooms. Forget.
Thank you so much, Charlene. Good to see everyone again. I'm so happy that we are all united by a common passion, maybe to do something in climate change, in community development, or to give back in our communities. And I applaud you for the great and amazing work that you are doing in your own space. And that's why you were all nominated to be representatives today. So you should be very proud of yourself, of the huge contributions that you are making in solving the global challenges. So as Charlene said, I've been involved in COP26, and I also participated in the Conference of Youth 16. And for the past 4 years, I've been doing a different work aligned with climate change. So I'm a climate change advocate. And I also have different programs and projects that I work on that are aligned with climate action, climate justice. So maybe just to give you a background of like my education and where I come from, because it shapes the work I do, and it forms also my decisions on the career path that I chose to follow. So I grew up in a rural area in the northern part of Zimbabwe, and I was raised by a grandmother who was over 80, and she was a subsistent farmer. So where I come from, agriculture is everything. It's a way of living. It's what people eat every day. It provides opportunities for employment and livelihoods. So that like really motivated me to pursue a career in agricultural sciences. So I have a degree in agricultural sciences from at the university. So when I was there, I just thought like the best way actually to get also the youth in the community where I come from involved in agriculture is to spice and add the agribusiness part of it. That's why I decided to come here at Edinburgh and start entrepreneurship and innovation. Right. So as we all know that climate change it's a disaster, and the emergency that we have at this time in point, and developing countries like where we come from are disproportionately affected by the impact of climate change. And what I've been hearing for the past days are people saying that it's gonna be hard to keep the global temperature rise at 1.5. So that really means each and every one of us has a responsibility to act. And I'm so happy that you are already acting in different ways, contributing in the ways that you can. So it's now a matter of us, of the leaders, to collaborate and make sure that change will happen. As you know that climate change has climate change is a food crisis, and a food crisis is a humanitarian crisis as well. So what do I mean? Is when the climate change is affecting like the weather patterns, causing natural disasters like drought, floods, cyclones, wildfires, and all the sorts of crises that you have heard of, right? And we have like the African population actually depends on agriculture. So 60 to 70% of agriculture, especially in the sub-Saharan Africa, contributes to livelihoods of people and economic development. So it was so sad that I met like a lot of people trying to explain how they are feeling about the impacts of climate change. For the past 9 months, climate floods have caused 20,000 people to lose their homes, and 3 billion people were affected. And I think the most touching story I ever heard during this call is the story of Madagascar. For the past 4 years, it never rained in Madagascar. You can just imagine how life it is like at this point. I also come from Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe was affected actually in 2019 by Cyclone Idai. And when you go to Manicaland, it seems as if the crisis just happened yesterday. Our schools were carried away. People were left homeless, and thousands of children are left, like, are forced to drop out of school. So this is something that is enough to compel us to take action. So maybe the question that each one of us might have is how best we can take action. We can take action through contributing in different ways. If your academic background or program aligns with something that can actually help in climate action, in taking climate action, building climate resilience, adaptation, and bringing new solutions, please go ahead and do it. The generation, I think, to save actually this crisis is us. Because at the end of the day, maybe in 2030, in 2050, where people will be actually assessing the impacts of climate change, by that time it will be us leading the COP26, or sorry, the COP. I don't know, it will be COP20 or COP50. So just make sure that you take part. I just want to encourage all of us to participate, especially in policy making. Why policy making? Because those national determinant contributions your countries are making, the efforts or contributions each and every country has, and bring on the table at those COP meetings. So it means that when you are not participating, or when our generation are excluded in decision making and in policy making, they are bringing solution with a missed voice. So and a missed voice is a missed solution as well. And we should have that like feeling of caring, and also have like that zeal to hold the leaders where you come from accountable. Because most of the youth that I met were complaining that actually political leaders sacrificing like good policies for political power. So At COP, on a global conference, nobody will hold them accountable because people don't really know what is happening actually on the ground. So you and I have like a great job to do to ensure that the policies are inclusive, to ensure that the policies are geared towards building community resilience. Just imagine, because tomorrow it will be you solving the displacement problem being caused by climate crisis today. It will be you losing a relative because of floods or because of hunger. So I just want to encourage you to participate and encourage youth in your community actually to also take part in contributing to solutions. And I'm so happy that I was also able to contribute to the Youth Global Statement that actually was handed over to Alok Sharma, who is the COP26 president. And we were demanding climate justice. We were demanding climate action, the loss and damage cost, because the people who are contributing the least actually to climate change are suffering the most. For example, Africa contributes only 3% to the global emissions, but we are hit so hard with the climate disasters. And also, let's not wait for anyone else to take action. Let's take it to ourselves to work on actually building that resilience, climate justice, to make sure that there will be just a transition that will be happening. And actually go and try to empower those people in your rural community, because they practice sustainable agriculture that contributes much to climate drawdown. I have been working with an indigenous group of people in the northern part of Zimbabwe, the Doma people. If we have gave those indigenous people the land to manage, this planet would have a better place, because everything they do, it's sustainable. And also let's bear in mind that it's not all about climate change, because the impacts of climate change also are widening the poverty and inequality gap. So it will be hard if we do not work collaboratively actually to cope with keeping the global temperature at 1.5 and also achieve the sustainable development goals. And it is those small initiatives or contributions that you are actually leading that will make a big difference. Truly, it's hard to collaborate actually on globally, because it will take time, and that time we don't have, as the climate, the global temperature also passing so rapidly. So I think my message to you is just to make sure that you take part, you just be part, you be a voice to those voiceless people from where you come from. We need a lot of scientific data, scientific contributions. So just go ahead, make it. You have the opportunity. We also need more global leaders to solve the challenge. So I believe all of us can do that. And we are not only acting for ourselves or for today, but we are acting as stewards for the future generations. Because there will be that question, okay, as this was happening, what did you do? We would Will you like be happy to be asked such kind of a question? So for example, we can actually collaborate between scholars, supporting each other in taking climate action. And I have already also collaborated with other former MasterCard scholars, the likes of Prince, and we have Chashi Foods. And what we do with Chashi Foods, we reduce post-harvest losses. And that is like a significant a part of the solution. Why? Because people are throwing away food because they don't have access to markets. Yet people are facing like hunger crisis. And we like up to date, we have trained more than 250 farmers on good food preservation techniques, especially the drying that is more affordable to those farmers. And we have actually reduced the post-harvest losses by 25 tons up to date. And that actually reduced the global carbon emissions by 10%. So we have just like registered our action. And I'm very sure like all of us, we are doing the same in different ways and in different manners. Let's go and send a clear message to the global leaders to act and encourage one another that we still have a future to live. And let's come together and build climate resilience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Git. That was really lovely. Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you for that. That is, I feel what you're saying. And reading, I tend to fluctuate between, oh, we must definitely do something about this, and all my days I'm paralyzed by anxiety and fear, and I don't know what to do. Like, this seems like such a huge problem, and it seems out of my hands, and I feel the panic of it. And then I also swing to, oh, I'm doing carbon management. Psh, I can do this. This is why I'm doing my degree. So it's always I heard someone, I went to a COP26 event, and they said it is very easy to swing between those two emotions, but it is important to feel that even when you feel that way, we can't afford not to act. So in whatever way that you are, however insignificant it feels, you still have to be present because the problem is not going away. So you might as well be a part of it. And I feel as MasterCard scholars, we have such great people. Basically, by just being a MasterCard scholar, it means you're smart and you've done amazing things. So we have such a great pool of resources that we can use, especially since we're from the global south. It's been really sad. I've been hearing the same of like how the people that have been hit by the climate disasters first, and they've been trying to convey that message at COP26, but it's still also a very political, a very like, there's a lot of optics, people trying to say the right things, people trying to act the right way, world leaders trying to act the right way, but not listening to the real messages of people being hit by these disasters. If you're Zimbabwean, you know how this feels. You feel like the government is not even, they probably don't know. They do, but like, it feels as if they don't know how urgent it is, even though we already have been hit by 2 cyclones in the past 2 years. So yeah, it is very important that we come together like this. I will definitely stop talking now.